Hey guys, it's Kevin here from Relax and Learn Guitar. Back for a live YouTube, and tonight we'll be working on a question from a member in the Relax and Learn Guitar membership. I created Relax and Learn Guitar for second halfers who are just learning to play the acoustic guitar, or maybe picking it back up after life getting in the way, getting a little too busy, and they want to pick it back up and play again. I found that when it comes to learning to play the guitar, a lot of people struggle with that. They get frustrated and they quit. So in my online guitar membership, Relax and Learn Guitar membership, I help adults learn how to relax and play guitar, specifically the acoustic guitar, so they can stop struggling and start playing. So I started doing some YouTube lives. So tonight, taking on another question from a person in the membership. And the idea is just to be able to get back with folks and answer their questions. Tonight's topic is on guitar capos, specifically why do you use a capo and how does it work? So that's what we're asking tonight. If you guys have questions, just pop them in the comments and I'll get right to them. So for those of you who are not familiar with capos, there's several different versions of a capo. Some of them look like this. This is kind of like a spring-loaded version of a capo. I use this type a lot. It's got a little screw with a spring on it. It's a little more work because you got to adjust them, but I like them better. They seem to last longer and work better in my opinion. So the purpose of using a capo, it does a few things for you. So the first part of the question is, why would you use a capo? And a capo allows you to play the same chord shapes in different keys. So the way the capo works, and the other reason you might use a capo is you might see these with singers. If you see bands live and singers are sitting in with a band they're not familiar with maybe, they might use a capo so that they can play the songs in the right key. So the way the capo works, most of them are very similar, at least in premise. So there's a pad of plastic or rubber, and it's going to, it kind of acts like when you play a bar chord, and you put your index finger across the entire fret. And you want to be able to, ring out each string. Capo does the same thing. So you clamp the capo on. We'll just do the second fret. And the same thing when you're playing a bar chord, you want your index finger to be close to the fret. So you see I'm on the second fret here, but the capo is really close up to the middle fret wire. And then you're able to ring out all 6 strings on that second fret. So think of it this way, it shortens your guitar some. Whenever you move your capo, it becomes the top of your guitar or the nut of your guitar. So when you have a capo on the second fret, you're playing a G chord. So it's just regular open G. You see I'm playing that chord here, and my middle finger's on that 5th fret of the guitar, but it's actually the 3rd fret relative to the capo. So a thing to remember as far as why you use them, to play in key and to be able to play open chords and play in the same different keys. The way they work is play the relative to the capo. You're actually, when you play this G chord, it's really an A. So if you want to test it, listen to that. Take the capo off, play an A, they're the same. Same thing with if you have a capo on your second fret, you're playing a C chord. And again, you're playing the C chord in relation to the capo. So this is like the nut of your guitar. That C is actually a D. So test it. Same sound. So the way that works, if you think of the note circle, we've got some lessons in the membership that go into much more detail, but for a note circle you have G, G sharp, A. Each fret on your guitar is a semitone. So when you're playing an open G, if you're moving it up 2 frets, you go from G to G sharp to A on the second fret. Same thing with a C. If you're playing a C chord or C note, and you move it up 1 semitone to a C sharp, up to a second semitone to the D, that's why this capo makes those chords sound in the different keys. So it's very, very handy. There are some folks that consider a capo to be kind of a beginner tool, maybe a little bit of a crutch. So I am not one of those people. Don't listen to the capo snobs. The capo is a great thing. I'm a strong believer of if it sounds good, it is good. So if you have something that can help you sound good, then why not use it? I use the capo a lot myself just because of my low voice. I'll use the capo up in like the 3rd or 4th fret of the guitar a lot because it makes those notes sound higher, which goes better with a low voice. So I think capo is going to be used by beginners, intermediate, advanced. It's not just kind of a beginner crutch. I think it's something that everyone should be able to know how to use and know why it works, how it works. And as far as the types, again, this is a Shub brand. It is a little more work because you have to work and adjust it with the screw and the spring that's on there. But once you do that, I just found that they just clamp nicer. They stay in place longer. A little more durable because you're going to have the the steel as opposed to the plastic and metal. So I like that brand anyway, or that type. Another reason people use these is maybe to get around and not play as many bar chords, which you can use a capo to do that because a lot of times you're moving these, I talked about earlier, the different chords you're playing are typically open chord shapes, which are, kind of cowboy chords or beginner chords. You can use a capo to get around not playing as many bar chords, although I do recommend that you really learn how to play bar chords because you can play just so much more stuff with them, and it's a good thing to know how to do. I think it's one of those things that does kind of separate kind of a beginner and intermediate person or level of person playing. So that's another reason you can use those. So kind of in summary, like it's not a beginner thing. It's not a crutch. Don't listen to the capo snob. It's a good tool to use. If it sounds good, it is good. Use that to move the chords around and play in different keys without having to play different shapes and memorizing different chords or notes. So I'm hoping that answers the question well, as far as why you use them and how they work, and go out and get yourself a capo if you don't have one and experiment with it. That is the lesson I've got to plan for tonight. If you have any questions or comments, just leave those on there and I'll definitely get back to them. And if you have not yet, you want to head over to relaxlearnguitar.com/RLG membership and check out the Relax Learn Guitar membership. You can get access to over 100 lessons, in-depth lessons, tablature,